Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Modiphius. Tonight we are playing Dune Dune Adventures in the Imperium. This is Desertfall, Episode 2, Sand and Shelter. The great thing is, up until March 24th, you too can play Dune, because it's a huge sale on Modiphius and Dune products. 30% off, if I think. I may have that right. Brain's a little fuzzy because it's already on Arrakis with everybody else here. It's available in the Humble Bundle. It's on Drive-Thru RPG. And tonight, watch the chat, because there will be a command that will enter you into a drawing for a copy of the Dune Compendium for Roll20. And that's what we actually use. If you look just way down below me, that's our little Roll20 window that'll show you the results of failures and successes on different die rolls we have. You can create characters. It's really cool. I love using that. So now that everyone's here, we're going to get right into it, because this is when things get fun. 4 members of House Atreides were asked to enter the office of Duke Leto Atreides. The house was in chaos. Everything's getting ready for the grand move to Arrakis after the fief has been given to House Atreides. And these 4 were, for some reason, specially chosen to go ahead of the royal family and check out the residency where they will be living and they will be conducting operations. The residency has been abandoned for a few years with just a skeleton crew of people maintaining it, because the Harkonnens, the enemies of House Atreides and the people that were running the house that was running Arrakis and the spice mining for the last 80 years, decided that Arrakeen, the city that the residency is in, was too primitive for their decadent tastes. So it has been laying dormant, the city still active as ever. So the 4 of them prepared, because this is not just a normal, let's check and make sure the residency and the staff is okay. Thufir Hawat, the mentat of House Atreides, gave them the real mission. They are going to the residence in Arrakeen to root out any Harkonnen spies. Harkonnens have run Dune for 80 years. They've just been ousted. They may have led traps, just waiting for the royal family to arrive. So boarding a Highliner, after getting on a shuttle on Caladan, 2 sisters of the Bene Gesserit, a noble from House Rhys, and a steward from Leto Atreides himself, folded space and entered into orbit around Arrakis. The shuttle landed, and as everyone was standing to get on to the landing pad that lowers down, suddenly hit with the brightness of this planet, yellows, tans, and reds, fiercely illuminated by a close burning sun, eyes stinging from sand and wind, all of a sudden dust just accumulating on clothes. And the heat, that unbearable heat. The 4 of you coming from Caladan, a planet of seas and greenery and air, wonderful winds and offshore breezes. It's like the moisture has just been pulled out of your bodies. You feel your skin immediately begin to dry. How does it feel, Lord Rhys, to set foot on this extremely important and clearly nearly inhospitable planet?
I think for our zoo, I think it is the opposite of everything that he knows, as far as, being on some farming islands, very, very far away. So he feels isolated. It's not necessarily a feeling of fear, but like he definitely feels far away, if that makes sense.
What about the environment he was just suddenly pushed into?
I think the dryness definitely surprises him. I think it's one thing to hear about it, but to experience it is a complete other thing. So I think as a result of the environment, I think his senses are he feels like his senses need to be a bit more on high alert. Like he needs to. He's definitely more aware of what's or as best as he can be, just more aware of what's going on around him.
Okay. Novier, steward for Leto Atreides himself. Raised on Caladan in the Atreides family, working for them. You are also thrown into a completely new environment. How are you feeling as you step off that shuttle?
I think he now understands what yearning for a drink of water actually feels like, right? I think in his secret training, in his I think in his day-to-day life, there has been he thought he knew strife. And I think it hits him in the face that now he will know it.
That's good to know. Sister Demira, you have been trained on other worlds in the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood. You've been with House Reese on Caladan for a very long time, serving the family and serving Erzu. When you step off that shuttle pad and the sand crunches under your feet, what is going through your mind?
I think instantly what comes to mind is the water that she rejected earlier. The dryness, suddenly the dry feeling, the scratchiness inside of her mouth from just the air around them. But also too, instantly it goes to the gravity of what lies ahead. And understanding that it's going to be even more challenging than she maybe originally thought it would be.
And Sister Lyra, handmaiden to Lady Jessica Atreides herself. As you step off that platform, the thought in your head of your mistress coming to this planet and stepping off a shuttle just like this, like what is going through your head, both of the experience for you and the magnitude of what's going to happen in 5 days?
Yeah, so I think Lyra definitely steps out onto the platform, kind of overlooking the terrain, and in her first breath is drinking in the heat. I think those of you who've been to Vegas or desert area, you know that feeling of literally drinking in like dry air. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
Lyra has that moment of like the dry air like going into her mouth, drying everything up down the throat, where your whole throat just starts to get dried up, and I think she lets out like a ever so slight cough for a second from the dryness, and then I feel like she would have gotten whipped by some sand, in which case she grabs her scarf and like holds it up over her face. And for a brief second, she feels a little sad for Jessica, and that emotion just fleets away. It just goes away because she knows that Jessica is a big girl, and if she wants to maintain the kingdom or the empire that she's building, she needs to toughen up and endure this terrain and environment. So she doesn't feel too much for her at the moment. Just kind of like, all right, see what you're made of, Jessica.
Nice. As you all move away from the landing pad and the passenger pad slowly raises back up into the shuttle, these small bits of luggage that have been offloaded for that group, the group of spice miners that are coming to get back to work under a much better regime, hopefully, and other travelers looking to make money in this new Arrakis. And then you get clear, and the shuttle then leaves. Empty. No one gets on. And suddenly that spaceport feels alone. That shuttle you landed on is now gone. You do see a figure slowly approaching the four of you. She's looking at you warily, kind of, well, to be honest, sizing you up. Later than middle-aged, maybe in her late 50s. And she's walking slowly but directly toward the four of you. You see, as she gets close, head is wrapped against the wind. There's a very small piece of fabric over her mouth. And as she comes up, she pulls it down. And you notice the traditional, as you've been told, being exposed to spice on Arrakis can change the whites and pupils of your eyes blue. They call it the eyes of Ibad. And you notice there's a blue tint to her eyes. Obviously, she has been on this planet for a long time and has been exposed to spice. And she steps up to you and goes, "You must be the Atreides. I am Mara Nasil. I am the head housemaid for the residency. You were supposed to come with me." And just lays it on you.
Arzu immediately steps forward, but keeps a respectful distance. Just as if to take responsibility, he steps forward, and goes, "Yes, thank you. I appreciate it, but we are here before the rest of the house, just to make sure everything is as it should be."
As expected. And she kind of glances around the troop. She kind of nods her head to the two sisters, just kind of in a show of respect. It's still terse. She seems somewhat annoyed that she's here. And then she just turns on her heels and says, come, we must stop by the markets. You must purchase water. It's a sign of respect to bring water into the residency. I'm assuming none of you brought your own. And she just starts walking away.
Quick question. So before we signed on, I had an idea for a flashback that I wanted to do last episode and didn't get a chance to, if that's possible.
Absolutely.
So
back
at
on
the moment,
shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Absolutely.
Well, I was just gonna say, at the moment that she asked about the water, I actually pull out a flask and I kind of shake it, but we go into the flashback there.
Yeah, quietly, you did order 2 waters and you sipped one, and then you quietly poured the other into a flask. Everybody was so consumed with the one miner that was the young miner, his first trip to Arrakis, crying, that you were trying to console, and spice drinks going around, and the loud, large man with the beard yelling and cheering. And as you pull that out and you shake it, Mara kind of kicks her head to the side. And not really in respect or appreciation, but more of an acknowledgement. She's like, you still have to go purchase water, because the water on Arrakis is much more precious than what you have in your hand.
I just slip it back in my hood.
And yeah, again, just turns on her heel and begins walking. And you notice that she's walking where the spaceport sits. It's on the edge of the city of Arrakeen. but it's on the other side of the shield wall, but just on the other side of the shield wall. And you notice where she is walking is toward the shield wall and then kind of along it. And Arrakeen is a very busy city. It's very crowded. There are people everywhere moving to and fro, seemingly not bothered by the heat. You do see people standing in the shade for a moment and then continuing on, other people just walking down brightly lit avenues as if the sun does not bother them. You do see a mixture of what are likely native Arrakeen folk that have been living there all their lives, and the occasional glance of an obvious outworlder, someone squinting their eyes or heavy pack trying to figure out where they're going. And then you begin to hear a din in the distance growing louder and louder. And you walk into the Arrakeen Market Complex. It is this massive outdoor plaza. Tents are set up, canopies anchored to parts of the overhangs of the shield wall itself. Residencies with small flags and pictures of wares hanging from them. And everyone is yelling, bartering, hawking their wares. And the most precious thing that you see everybody selling is water. Some people are selling small cubes of spice, but there are canteens, whole barrels, all of these different containers to hold or that are holding water. And Mara is just walking through, and then she stops. And she kind of looks at all of you. Well, you can pick any of the sellers, and they will sell you some water, and then we will move on to the residency. Again, it is a sign of honor and respect. We have 20 palm trees that are sacred at the residency, and it's one of those gifts that you are bringing with you.
Trevor, could I suss out if this is a test? Because I feel as if she has been here for a while, she would know the sellers that they would trust. And
Ooh.
I want to see if this is like I want to suss out if this is some sort of test, because I feel like she would have just told us these are the sellers that we usually use.
Oh, and I want to do something slightly different, but sort of along the same lines, in the sense that I want to use my hyper awareness to pay attention to the people who are playing, like the sellers that are paying close attention to her, meaning that potentially there could be some type of racket going on. So she's trying to see if there's like eyes that are darting or paying too close attention to our group and specifically her.
Okay. Oh, this is getting interesting. So, first, Novier, give me I would like a communicate test, please.
Awesome. Okay. So my focus for communicate is persuasion. Does that help out in this particular case?
Probably not, because you're
Okay.
trying to suss out motives.
Okay.
I would say if you have a focus and say understand, such as deductive reasoning or something like that.
Ah, okay.
Sure, but like you
But
can make an
yeah.
argument for an understand chess, but this is specifically a communicate one, difficulty 2. Which
Okay.
drive would you like to use for that? What is fueling this this attempt to figure out what's going on and what the communication is in the whole area?
Well, we were sent here for our very specific skills. And
Yes.
although the rest of the crew doesn't know mine yet, I would say that she is somebody who is connected with with Harkonnen, correct?
No, she's head
Oh.
housemaid of the residency.
She oh So is the residency, is that with our house, with the Atreides
Yes.
house, or okay?
Yeah, the
So-
residency is it will be the royal residency for the Atreides here in Arrakeen City, because the Harkonnens are all the way over in Carthage.
Gotcha. Okay. So
Arrakeen was too rustic for them.
Oh. So I would say I want to roll duty on this one because I want to make sure that if we are being sent here, both people in house and out of house are going to be up for scrutiny.
Yes, they will.
All right.
Yeah, I would say it's a difficulty 2.
Okay.
So yeah, communicate duty. Yeah, let's go for it.
How'd I do? Oh God! So I failed on both.
This is a very, very strange environment. The heat is it's oppressive. It's not just making you sensitive, it is oppressively hot. Again, you're used to Caladan, and you're looking around, there are cultures going on and hand motions. Mara is very, very calm, and she's looking around, but also looking at all of you very expectantly. But you're just lost. Any kind of sense of anything is just, you're effectively being just overstimulated at this point. You've been shoved into a very uncomfortable situation. Now, Demira, using your hyper awareness, are you like, I will allow you to do also a communicate or understand challenge. Are you going to spend some of that momentum? Or are you just going to use straight up hyper awareness and challenge me to a question or 2, actually?
We only have the 2
momentum. You only have the 2.
I know. It might be too early for that. I think I'm gonna just stick with just the fact that she's able to pick up on the little nuances of people, especially in public places, because she observes a lot. So I am going to not use momentum in this situation yet, because I have a feeling we'll need it later.
Remember, it does fade over time.
I know. But I believe I want to try to use understand because of the fact that she's using deductive reasoning, which is her focus.
Oh, you have
this. I have deductive reasoning. Cool. So she's able to kind of narrow down what's going on, and also to the other people closest to this area, the sellers.
Okay. Yeah, I'll allow it 100%.
And then in this situation, I almost feel like it's power.
Power?
And yes, and I think it's because of the fact that hers is those with true power need seldom wielded. So I think that basically she's kind of allowing Arzu, Lyra, and Novie to kind of take the charge, but she's able to kind of like also to talk to Arzu if she kind of picks up on things. She kind of hints at certain, like, hey, maybe you want to look into like courses of action, but letting him decide whether or not to act. So I'm thinking more along those lines.
Yeah, no, I'll say that doesn't conflict. It doesn't contradict your action. So yeah, okay. Absolutely. Let's go understand power. Minimum successes are 2. And you're using a focus, so add another, so yeah, it's 3d20. Oh my. Well, you have a success.
Oh, wow.
But see, for those watching that don't know, in the 2d20 system, a 20 is a critical fail. It creates what's called a complication.
And I got a 1.
And a 1, which is
so
a critical success. So that's the interesting, yeah, sorry, it's, you rolled an 8, which is under the target number. It's a success, but you needed 2, and you also generated a complication.
Yeah.
Mara is looking at far too many people. Mm-hmm. She She's staring at all of you and then glancing to water cellars at the left and right. Her patience is growing thin. There's something going on. It feels like you're being judged.
Mhm.
But if it's judged for who you are or how you act or what kind of culture you're being thrown into, you're not sure. But it does seem like something is wrong. But it's difficult to pin down.
I think Lyra is gonna step forward, noticing that eyes are on her on Demira. So she's gonna pull focus, and so who do you recommend that we get said water from?
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna give that a difficulty 0. Mara looks at you. 1, you're the one that brought water. 2, Mara looks at you and kind of at this point, it's the judgmental look has gone away and it's more quizzical. And she kind of looks at you all and points down the road. And on the far right side, you see this old woman sitting there, just surrounded by bottles. And also, it seems like lined baskets that you can put water into. And Mara just motions. Her name is Binda. She's the one I would go to.
Why is that?
She likes to talk.
Interesting
think
that you want us to go to someone who talks.
You wish to learn about the city, she is a one to talk to.
Lyra looks at Arzu.
Arzu just gives a nod, and he immediately starts walking for Binda. And he's kind of got that douchebag executive walk going on a little bit, where he's got like one hand in his pocket, and the other hand is like swinging free, and his chin is very up, and he's very forward. As he's walking, he's not really checking to see if Demira or Lyra or Novier are coming behind. He's like he heard this is the one that I would talk to. We're doing it. Like,
Wow.
just making it happen.
Demira would be following close behind because that's her thing.
Novier, like as you're looking around, just stunned by what's going on, you see this brief, what seemed like a confrontation, and then everyone just begins walking toward this one cellar. And it's still very loud, and it's just kind of, it's still, there's just a lot going on. And then you start hearing other water cellars, and one of them, as everyone is walking very decisively toward the one that Mara pointed out, one of them, as you walk by, is like, you man in the beautiful sweater, in the beautiful outfit, come to me, buy my water, it is the best in Arrakeen.
It would be best for me to look like a little bit of a buffoon at this point.
Okay.
So I would want to go to his stall.
Okay. As you approach, the stall is thick with silks. The containers he has they look like gilded in copper, or they're made out of fine stone. He's like, you are new to this planet. These are wonderful, wonderful things to place our noble and honored water into. You should buy one. You should absolutely buy one. People will look at you with respect. My name is Manan, and welcome to my shop.
When I look over Manon's wares, is there anything that would are there any containers that say, if broken, would become immediately sharp and useful in a bad situation.
Yeah, there's some finely made ceramic ones that are a couple, looks like they're from thin metal. One of them is, it looks like it's carved sandstone it's twisted. It's a beautiful, almost vase-like piece. And yeah, if it's broken the right way, it could be, like breaking a bottle and, stabbing someone with it kind of deal.
I would say, how big do you think it would be? Like, would I be able to carry it with one hand or two?
Oh yeah, no,
or...
they're all one-handed things.
They're jars. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I would, I'm familiar with the currency, I'm assuming, in
It's
this
also
area.
the currency throughout the known universe is Solaris.
Okay. So with the Solaris, I would want to ask for the price and then accidentally pay more of it to look as if I do not understand how it works around here.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll take it. He immediately, it's like as you are putting out the Solaris, he immediately notices you're overpaying. He says nothing about it. He just has this great smile and he passes this earthenware jug to you. And then he takes what looks like a strange bladder and just places the hose and squeezes it. You hear the water filling up. And then he removes the hose and then there's this earthenware cork and just kind of sockets it in. And he hands it to you smiling and then starts yelling out, "Another customer from the great Manan. See, my vessels are the best to put our holy water in." And he escorts you out of his stall and motions down to the rest of the people. And you see Mara glaring at you.
Oh gosh, would I notice this?
Oh yeah, no, it's not. It's
Oh,
not.
it's not subtle.
Like,
oh no. Okay.
As the three of you are heading to Binda's stall, Mara has stopped, obviously because one of you are missing. And as Novie, as you come out of the stall and you turn right and you start heading toward the group, just it's like one of those scenes where there's a busy market and instead of looking across a busy market or a busy room and seeing someone that you love, you notice and you lock eyes with Mara and she's giving you a death stare. Just offended.
I walk up to her very sheepishly and I say, I am guessing from the look on your face that I have much to learn to be able to live here.
You're just an outworlder. I suggest a water merchant. You go to another one. You have Solaris that are heating in the sun and burning your pocket. It's understandable.
I think from that exchange, I can pick up the sarcasm, and I'm very happy with what she thinks of me right now, because now it's another person who underestimates me in the house. But I would want to go and walk up to the rest of the group to see what they're doing.
As you approach Binda's stall, Binda has a very modest stall. It's very simple. It's triangular, kind of like a lean-to. Small, simple tables that look like they're hewn out of a local wood, but they socket together. They're not fastened. So it seems like the stall can very easily be taken down and moved to where she needs it. If it's a little busy, perhaps she'll move it somewhere else. If it's not busy enough, she'll move it to where there is one. And she is this small, very just genial, honest looking woman. And she looks up and she just smiles. And then she sees Mara in the back. She's like, "Oh, are you the Outworlders that have come?"
We are, yes.
"Oh, well, of course, you need water. Please, pick a vessel and I will fill it for you."
And I think you said that these vessels basically all look the same. They're kind of
Yeah,
basic.
very, very simple. Some are wood, some are like trimmed with like maybe some sort of metal, like copper, maybe a hint of what seems like gold, but they're modest.
Arzu's
As
gonna
you-
pick. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Go.
I was gonna say Arzu's gonna pick the one closest to her, so she doesn't have to move very far.
Okay. Demira, Lyra.
I think Lyra steps a little bit past Arzu and kneels down. I assume she's sitting somewhere, like,
Yes.
or is she
Yeah,
standing?
she's sitting. She's not getting up. She's just kind of like,
So Lyra's gonna kind of get down to her level, like either on her knees or whatever, and not in a whisper, but not in a like larger voiced tone, but she do you have any vessel that would be suitable for reverence to pay homage to this place?
she smiles. And just immediately to her right is, another just small wooden, but it looks like it has an earthenware seal on it. And it's just like it's got this interesting curved series of patterns. And she's like, this one would be pleasant. It costs the same as the rest, but looks a little nicer. Now that Count Fenring is done using the residency years and years ago, he's moved on, and the ugly family never comes here.
The ugly family.
Yes, the ones that wear black, that run the mining, the ones that kill the people of the desert, the ones that the
You know
desert
their
ones.
names?
Harkonnen.
I see.
I think Arzu kind of chuckles to himself, knowing that is probably what Binda was referencing from the start. Is that she was referencing the Harkonnen? Because he's probably heard House Atreides say similar things.
Oh yeah, it's like there has been worry in the house just among the servants. It's like, wait a minute, we're going to a house where our centuries old or the planet where our centuries old enemy was just running for 80 years. Oh, great. Sure, why not? Like everyone's getting a tiny bit of combat training, either from Duncan, Idaho, or Gurney Halleck. It's that kind of level of shit. We're walking into a fire, and she goes just on and on about the oppressive regime of the Harkonnens and how even the people of Arrakeen, so far from Carthage, have felt it, because she hears stories of independent spice miners coming here because their equipment had been taken, or as the Harkonnens would have put it, conscripted for repair, and leaving these spice miners without any income. And she is just, what would have been a simple transaction is probably taking 5-10 minutes, where she is just gleefully talking about what it's like to live in Arrakeen. When the sun is directly overhead, how the shadows create these patterns of the buildings, and making it sound like a beautiful place. And you begin to understand what this is like to someone who is born here, not just on the planet, but in Arrakeen itself. And it's a very, I wouldn't say humbling, but it's a very eye-opening experience. And Mara, like as you're, all looking around, and Mara is just kind of smiling a little and nodding her head.
I have a question.
Yes.
The two women, do they have similar features?
Binda is far older than Mara.
Mm-hmm.
But they do have similar features. They are both dark of skin, either like native heritage, or their exposure to the sun. Binda does not have the eyes of a bod. She's not been exposed to too much spice, probably because doesn't venture out of the city walls or doesn't ingest it in food or anything like that, and is just very, very relaxed. Mara, on the other hand, does have those light blue within blue eyes, very sturdy, very stern, honest, direct. Just has a sense of duty amongst her. She did introduce herself as the head of the housemaidens, so there's some sort of respect that she not just expects but insists on. So it really is two sides of the same coin. Features similar, attitudes radically different.
Okay, but features similar enough to possibly be a relative.
For that, I would like an understand check. That'll be a difficulty 2. It's because you're in a you're in a brand new thing, brand new environment and all that.
Okay.
And what drive would you like to use?
I'm thinking for this one, it would be more duty. It's kind of trying to get to the bottom of, what she was trying to figure out earlier.
Okay.
But she has slightly different motives this time around.
Okay. Sure. Are you also going to use your focus of deductive reasoning?
Yes, please.
Because that 100% would apply. Yeah. Difficulty 2. Let's go for it.
Is that 3 dice?
Duty. It's 2 dice, but you're using a focus, which will give you an additional bump.
Yes. Okay.
Whoa. Okay. So for those again watching, natural 20s bad, 1s awesome. That's a critical success plus an additional success, so the total is 3. So you have you have one point of momentum personally until it transfers into the party pool. But as you're looking and just not making it obvious, but being of the Bene Gesserit and having hyper awareness, you notice that they're not related. They may be old friends, but there's a little bit of difference in the way they speak, the way they're acting. Mara seems a little bit more noble in standing. And as you look around, she doesn't really stick out. But there is something different about Mara. She may be Fremen.
Okay.
Her eyes are a little bit richer in blue. She's, again, standing with like duty and like this kind of self-respect that is much stronger than the masking of important people around that want to look important. There's something about Mara that is decidedly different. And it may be that she's Fremen, or possibly that she has a much higher position at the residency and she's just not letting you know.
Going off of that information, piggybacking off of that, is there anything within, because of the fact that obviously Demira has studied the various cultures, like as from the previous episode with the Harkonnen and that history with the Fremen, are there certain traditions as far as, especially when it comes to because obviously like water is sacred, but is there something that as far as basically she's trying to think of I'm trying to think of a way that Demira would try to test whether or not her theory is correct, or what she's picked up on as far as her actually being Fremen, just to kind of have that, kind of knowledge, like to make sure that everyone in the party ends up kind of noticing that, or at least like dropping that hint. But if there's a way, I don't know if that even exists.
You do know that while water is sacred on Arrakis, to the Fremen, it is It is much more sacred because they live in the deep desert. That they have, it's essential to them. It's not just something to drink and stay alive. It is literally the one thing that unifies them. So the reverence she is placing on water seems to be pretty heavy. That may be the thing that is leading you to considering that she is from it.
Going off of that, Demira is going to kind of come from where she was behind Arzu. And she comes forward, but she does so in like where she's like closing the distance, but like getting almost like uncomfortably close to I'm sorry, it's not Mara, the other woman.
Oh, Binda.
Binda. Are we allowed to taste the water?
Binda looks at you and it's like, of course, of course. And she has this series of small, like a dram container size of these small crystal glasses that she picks out. And it's just this long, honestly, it's kind of like a long dice vault kind of thing, just a long piece of wood. And she opens it and she places one out and she looks over to Mara and kind of brings her in, and Mara even joins. And she sets out 6 of them and takes a small bladder and just places a few drops in each one. And she hands them, 5 of them out to you and takes one herself. And she's like, please try my water. It is an honor that you asked. I'm glad I am able to share my water with you. And she just sips.
And it's only in that container, correct?
Yes. It's from one of the bladders she would use to, so it's from the same bladder that she used to fill the container for Lyra, but it's just in these extremely small glasses.
Okay. What Demira wants to do is to actually take the bladder and pour the water into her hand and sip of it that way instead.
Do you reach for it or do you ask for it?
I reach for it.
Okay.
Arzu tenses.
But I'm going for it as in basically to kind of grab like more, like it looking like I'm going to grab more. It's almost to get a reaction out of Mara. So it's kind of to kind of see the, to try to test more.
Binda, as your hand is beginning to move, Binda looks a little confused, and as it's moving toward the bladder,
and it's not like she's she's looking like she's going to try to take it to pour more, but at the same time, it's like almost like a hesitation as she does it.
Because of that hesitation, you are quickly grabbed from behind by Mara, and there is this strange curved knife at your throat. The handle of it is brown. There's a little bit of gold edging. You can see just under your chin runes carved on it. And it's just this like black at the hilt and fades into this razor sharp, almost ivory tip. And she hisses in your ear. You never take water without asking.
I would love to not necessarily like trigger constantly watching, but I think Arzu would obviously notice this happening. Do I recognize the runes and such on this knife?
No.
Okay.
Binda seems concerned, but appreciative toward Mara.
My
And
apologies.
she holds that knife to your throat until you withdraw your hand.
No, I do. Well, I do. In doing so, I'm looking at because you said it's a bladder. It's not one of the containers.
No, it's a bladder, like that you would squeeze and place into
Right.
to fill. Yeah.
So with that happening, I was only curious. It doesn't come from the same containers. How do we not know it's something entirely different? The quality, since you've talked so highly of the water here on Arrakis versus what we drank before.
As your hand comes back and all of you see this, she just very quickly and deftly pulls that strange knife and places it in a leather sheath and folds her shawl around it. Asking about water is acceptable. Taking it is not, unless it is freely given or if you purchase it. Our water is the only thing we have on this planet to survive. That is why it is special. You are taking water from Arrakis and giving it to Arrakis. That is why this water you must take to the residency. That's why it is more precious. If you take your off-worlder water and just pour it on places, we do not know the quality of yours. Do not question the quality of ours. She's incredibly, incredibly offended.
Arzu takes out I suppose what he would imagine would be a sufficient apology amount of Solari, and like definitely just kind of just like holds it out for Binda. In addition to what he would pay for the water, which is definitely over what she would ask. I know a little bit the sacredness of water myself, so I understand. We just want to make sure that we do this right, and I apologize. Looking directly at Binda.
Binda only takes what was owed. She refuses to take any more.
It was a misunderstanding, of course.
I understand. It is all right. My water is fine. My water is precious, as all water is on Arrakis. Binda, Mara is just fuming. Mara does look over at Novier and again at that like very audacious vessel that you're holding.
Is the knife still at her throat?
No, it's gone.
No. She took it. The moment you took your hand back, she stepped back and put the knife away.
But I will say that Demira did not flinch during that whole interaction. So she was looking directly still at Binda, not at Mara. But she wanted a reaction. She wanted a reaction from Mara.
I'm making a note of that. Got it. Lyra, as this is going on, you're near Binda. You were, she had filled your vessel with the carvings on it. And all of this happened. Your sister Bene Gesserit literally just had a knife to her throat. The movement, both of you are very well trained as Bene Gesserit. You have Prana Bindu, the conditioning. That was really fast and from out of nowhere.
I definitely take note of what had happened behind me because I was still bent over.
Yep.
But I do get up and I return to the side of Mara, having already paid for the water and everything. Take note of what side. She's right-handed, correct? So
yes.
Her sword or her dagger would have been on her left side, correct?
It's on her right side. She's right-handed and it's on her right side.
That's a very quick grab.
She would have had to pull it, reverse grip, and then come around.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Noting that.
the details of the knife too.
Mm-hmm. Curved,
Yep.
bone, correct, with ruins on it.
Yep.
Inside a leather sheath.
Yes.
Excellent. Lyra just kind of glances down, glances back at Mara, and leans in and goes, I see you are acquainted with danger, but I should remind you that pulling a weapon on my fellow sister could cause you more danger yourself.
Arzu tenses again.
Novier, what are you doing during this exchange?
He's very wide-eyed, like during it, and the exchange. What it kind of looks like from the background is his eyes keep darting and his head keeps moving with his eyes as well, just trying to keep up with the situation. His intention is to look as useless and as bewildered as possible right now. And so I think if our group was looking to me to de-escalate, I do kind of want to see how far this goes.
Okay. I'm going to have you make a challenge on that.
Sure.
Because it has attracted attention from a couple other people around, because, just hearing a tussle and, Mara loudly singing, the various things, it's just like, and you're a very noticeable group, obviously Outworlders. Could you give me a discipline check?
Sure.
You're basically trying to retain your composure. I'm going to give it a difficulty 2 because it is a little challenging.
Okay. I'm going to be using truth on this one. Because there were both weapons and threats involved. My truth is there is comfort at the beginning and at the end of a weapon. And so
oh, crap.
So
yeah, that statement doesn't conflict at all. So do you have a discipline focus that would apply?
Espionage.
Okay. So yeah, 2d20.
Using my focus,
and you were using a focus, correct?
Okay. All right. Let's see if I can fail again on this one.
I love it when my players put me back on my heels like this.
By the way, Lyra's interaction was very whispered, so no one else really heard it.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
Wow. So that's a total of 4 successes on a 2. No one is looking at you.
Okay.
You're just a bumbling outworlder who obviously fell for Manon's overpriced trash. Some people may be even quietly laughing at you. You are a wallflower. You're a person at the wrong place at the wrong time that people just glance over and go, well, you're going to die in a week. Or maybe you're going to die in a couple days. Just you are not even considered a threat. You're not even considered. Yeah, you're the fly on the wall. You also notice that was a really quick move. Mara has some very hardcore training. Lyra, Binda, as you say that, turns to you and she just smiles.
And it's Mara, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, Mara. Yes.
Okay. I'm being nice to the old lady.
Yeah. And Mara smiles at you. It's a gentle smile, but it's also a very confident smile. And it really has that, oh yeah, try me kind of vibe. But it's genial. It's an honest smile, but you immediately see the subtleties to it.
Shall we be on our way?
Yes, it's about time. And she says something to Binda in a foreign language that you don't understand. And Binda just smiles and she waves as you're all leaving. And she steps in front of the four of you and just starts taking you on this twisting and turning series of like walking very quickly and very dutifully. And you begin to see the Arrakeen Residency start to come closer and closer. It is this massive ziggurat, this flat-topped pyramid, multiple stories of it, all just slanting out. A large courtyard is above, just sets of stairs leading up. It has its own walled courtyard. You can see these large walls around it. The closer you get, the more imposing it is. It's very environmentally matching. The colors, it's made of local sandstone, rocks hewn from the area. But in a sense, it also gives you it gives you a sense of the brutalness of this planet. You know, the inside must be very comfortable, but the outside is definitely giving, this building is from here. This building will stay here. It's at the center, not just of attention, but the city seems to be around it. It would be effectively a monument. And as you're going through these small alleys, and it's beginning to loom in the distance, how is everybody feeling after that exchange? Demira, you had a strange knife to your throat. It seems that stepping off the shuttle and then suddenly into this, things are already at a high point. You know, stuff's already getting, no pun intended, heated. How is Demira feeling at this moment? How are you feeling?
I would say if Mara is walking ahead of them as they're heading into the residence, there's a slight smile, like very slight, on Demira's face because she got exactly what she wanted out of the interaction. She was able to get information and to also show it to the others. So she's very optimistic now.
Lyra, you seemed to gain some respect from Mara, definitely a lot from Binda. What's going through your mind at this moment?
I'm annoyed at everybody else. Nobody else is following any sort of protocol. Everyone's trying to show themselves off. We're already made a bad name for ourselves, and I'm just sitting here like, can we just make it to the residency without causing a fuss? But clearly that didn't happen. So trying to just mitigate, show a little bit of strength, because I didn't want Mara to think that we were weak when she tried to do that to Demira. But wanted to be respectful enough to make it to the house, to the residency safely.
Okay.
But
Arzu.
stoic nonetheless.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, you stoically laugh? Really?
No, as she's stoic nonetheless. Like, you don't see any of that in her face at all, because she's been a Jesuit.
I thought you said she's stoic, but she laughs. I'm like, whoa, okay.
No laughing, no laughing from Lyra.
Arzu, you, like, in your cover stories, you're supposed to be, getting all the mining documents in order. But the truth is, you're here as a bodyguard for the rest of the group. and that all just happened. Where's your mindset right now?
I think that Arzu has learned and tends to trust Demira when she makes a move, which is why he didn't immediately like leap into any sort of action and kind of just wanted to cover things on Binda's end. He's definitely going to talk to Demira about it when there's time for them to, or at least he'll bring it up when there's time for them to be, alone to talk about it. But I think he is glad that Demira made it out of there unscathed, but he definitely was a little bit concerned. Like I wanted to make sure that I like actively said like he tenses but doesn't necessarily do anything, because he's a very vigilant like person. He's ready to just like he was ready, like in theory he would be ready to like enter combat, but like I said, he trusts Demira, so like he's just kind of going through that mantra of like she knows what she's doing, we will talk about this. But in a similar vein to Lyra, he like doesn't want anyone to think that they're weak, but also he doesn't want to immediately just like, pardon the expression, but just like slap his metaphorical dick on the table as soon as they get there, so like he's trying to ride the line a little bit before he can really make any moves.
It will not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Novier, you went from being completely overstimulated to buying something audacious, but with a secondary purpose. And then you just saw this radical reaction from the person who was sent to take you to the residency and the rest of the group. Where is your head right now?
I would say that I now know the capabilities of my group and of the people around us. And I also now have information and understanding of how to be less noticeable here in this place. Because I think, especially, I think we all noticed it was Mara. Mara was the one with the knife, correct?
Yes.
We all noticed Mara's skills for very different reasons. And with very different backgrounds. But the fact that I just saw everyone else unreact in a way, in a situation that should have been reactive, I at least now have peace of mind to know that everybody else is on my level.
Okay. That's good to know. The residency is getting closer and closer. And you begin there are these narrow, quick alleyways, shortcuts. It's like, oh, you're going perpendicular to it, and then it seems like you're going directly, and then a little bit. And Mara is walking with purpose, just leading. And then she starts to slow down, and you see her looking around, not out of confusion, but out of concern. Just kind of glancing. And from one of the side corners and out of a door on the side of the alley, there are these 6 grubby looking, ragged, shawls are in rags. Some of them have just these somewhat ratty, broken goggles. Few have a couple teeth missing. And they're all just smiling. And the leader, this one wearing this red armband and stepping up, probably a good 4 or 5 inches taller than Mara, goes, "So you work at the residency and you are bringing these outworlders in. Unfortunately, you walked down the wrong alley. See, there is a water tax. So we will be taking all of your water, please. And you notice that a couple of them are beginning to slide knives out of sheaths and taking up positions and are slowly surrounding the group.
May I act first on this one?
Or,
You know, I'll.
After the break, you can.
Oh no!
So
I
on
had a
that
feeling a break was
cliffhanger,
coming.
oh yes, oh yes. Gotta love those narrative beats. I mean, come on.
It's so good.
So
It's so
everybody,
good.
hang out. We'll be back in about 10 minutes because we are on Arrakis. You know, take this time to hydrate and such like. And yeah, we'll be right back and check out the music, hang out, talk about things in chat, and don't forget, we're giving away that Roll20 plugin for Dune Adventures in the Imperium. So when that command goes out, make sure you get into the drawing. So yeah, thank you very much, and we'll be back in a second. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the conflict moment. If you're just joining us, our intrepid off-worlders, after landing on Arrakis, have gone through the market. They've all separately purchased water. One of them, Sister Demirazul of the Bene Gesserit, attempted to grab a water bladder to suss out the actions of their guide, Mara Nasil. Mara pulled a knife and immediately held it to her throat and threatened her because you do not take anyone else's water without, without being given it or without asking. Now, you're in this tight alley. Mara started slowing down, looking around somewhat concerned. And these 6 ragged individuals have stepped out of shadows, opened and come out of a door, and they are blocking the alley and kind of moving in. And they have explained that there's a water tax and they will be taking your water. Novier, you immediately jump to it. You're like, I want to do something. What are you doing?
Oh, did Arzu want to do the first line to make sure that everybody knew?
Yeah. Arzu kind of smirks to himself and he kind of says, not very subtle, are you? Without that's all he says. He's just not very subtle, are you?
You just say that out loud, or are you directing at somebody?
Oh, to them, yeah.
Oh, okay. The man with the red red cloth tied to his arm, kind of like a weird bicep ribbon. He just looks at you and smiles. It's like, we don't need to be subtle with Outworlders. Now, give us your water. And you see Mara is moving her right hand to her side. Novia.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to outwardly panic, and then accidentally run into the biggest one and bowl him over, like as if I'm running away and panicking.
Whoa. Okay, since this is combat, we'll be using the battle skill.
Sure.
Yeah. And you're specifically picking the biggest guy?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not the leader. There is a large enforcer type individual in the back of the group. He kind of like came around a corner.
I am picking that one. This is now prison rules.
Oh crap. Okay. Yeah. It's going to be a battle of 2.
Sure.
So yeah, let's go.
So I guess my goal for this, Trevor, is I still have the ceramic pot.
Yes.
So what I wanted to do is accidentally run into him, and the man is accidentally stabbed because I accidentally ran into him.
You're running into him to break the pot and then stab him?
Yes, while with nobody noticing.
Accidentally.
Accidentally.
This is what happens when you
view-
unplug your headphones. You don't hear what we plan here.
And that's the whole point. Like I told
viewers,
you while we were
viewers at home, that slight tilt back that Trevor did.
I purposely, for everybody watching, I am the kind of GM that this is their story. I'm the unreliable narrator. Whenever we have a break and they want to plan something, I always unplug my headphones because I want to be put back on my heels because this is collaborative storytelling. You're going to run into the guy to accidentally break the vase and then stab him with it.
Yes.
I love this. So let's, it will be a difficult battle.
Right.
What drive are you doing this with?
Truth.
Of course.
Because there's comfort at the beginning and at the end of a weapon.
The weapon. Yeah.
So I know that per the rules, a shattered vase isn't usually a weapon. But I have improvised weapon. Which you are able to turn the most innocuous items into deadly weapons at a moment's notice. Once per scene, you may create a quality 0 asset at no cost that you can use in a personal or skirmish conflict. It might be a rock, broken bottle, a shard of glass, but it is enough to function as a weapon. The asset is removed at the end of any conflict it's used for, as it will be too badly damaged to use again.
I knew I was in trouble when I picked this cast. Yeah.
He was in trouble when he picked us.
Yeah.
Shame on him. He should not.
So you have a with 2 successes. Well, you're automatically going to create the asset, whether you have a success in stabbing him or not.
Great.
The asset is going to be created because the vase is going to be broken either way. The 2 successes you will need are in order to stab him to death and make it look accidental.
Yes.
So give me a battle. Give me a battle truth.
Okay.
And do you have a focus for battle?
Assassination.
Okay, cool. It's a challenge 2, battle truth with a focus, please.
Okay. Hit and submit on there. And I got one. Oh, wait a minute. I got 1 success?
No, you got 2 successes.
I got 2 successes. I got 2 successes.
Which is exactly what you needed.
Okay.
So you're all getting set. Mara is moving her hand to the side. The leader of this ragtag group of water bandits is smiling. And you hear these stumbling footsteps behind you as Novier just turns, runs, smashes in. You hear just the sound of that overly audacious porcelain vase shatter. The water spills to the ground, and this large enforcer bandit just topples over, unmoving. The rest of the water bandits immediately pause because something weird just happened.
Could it be like the thing where he falls on top of me and I'm so little that like I can't?
Oh yeah,
okay.
No, 100%. It's kind of like you run into him, it breaks, and you're like stab, and it just kind of turns and falls. And your feet are sticking out underneath this much larger guy, and the entire the rest of the other 5 water bandits are just like, what the hell just happened? And hearing the commotion, you see Mara turn around and actually looks rather impressed. The water bandits are on pause. Who's up next? Anyone take it?
We're doing a standoff. We're all looking at each other like.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think Lyra, seeing Novier bumble out of the whole situation. She doesn't notice the stabby stab. She just thinks Novi just knocked this guy over, fell over, broke the glass. So she's just like keeps her composure, looks to the leader, and says in a very calm voice, "You will stop what you're doing, and you will swear your protection to us."
Wow.
I assume that he probably didn't hear me properly the first time. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's gonna probably say it again, a little bit more commanding, kind of sounding like this.
You're going to stop what you are doing, and you will swear protection to us.
Oh, wow. Right. Using the voice. Okay. The voice is yeah, I just want to check that. Yeah, you're using the voice. Okay. This is going to be fun. Instead of battle, please use communicate. And or you can also
I was like, can I make the argument for discipline?
Yes, you absolutely can.
About maintaining composure in this situation and not letting
Yeah.
things fly off the rail?
Absolutely. You are attempting to fully dominate this person's will. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, screw communicate. No. Yeah. Yeah, let's roll with discipline.
Okay.
This is the first time we're using the voice in this game, and like, yeah, let's make this good. Let's make this big.
For my drive, can I make the argument about using power, since my statement is power is given to those who can keep their composure?
Yeah, that's not a conflict. Yeah, no, go ahead. It's challenge 2. Yeah, give me a discipline power using your focus of composure. Oh man. Oh, this is gonna be wild.
Of course. Yeah. Well.
Got one, but when you use the voice, you can add 1, 2, or 3 points of threat. You can give me threat to get automatic successes. So if you would like to give me 1 point of threat, we can turn that 0 into a 1.
I'm gonna do it. Do it.
Well, oh yeah, I was just wondering how can I do 3 threat?
You tell me. Yeah, no, you tell me. You know, that would be yeah, you can gain 3 threat. My pool will go into I'll just add more to my threat.
Yeah, we'll worry about that later.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
We'll worry about threat later, right?
Okay,
it's fine.
Cool. So yeah, 3 dice. That's 3 extra successes. So that fills your momentum 2 more times. Wow. You see, was this to the leader?
Mm-hmm.
You see his face go slack. His eyes dilate, and his hand just kind of slumps down to his side as he looks at you. And he immediately looks at everyone else and just goes, "Their water is too sacred. What are we doing?" Mara looks stunned. One of the other bandits looks very, very concerned and kind of confused. He is going to he is going to attempt to break this man he's going to do it's going to be, because you're using the voice and because of the massive amount of successes, it's going to be a 2 challenge for him, but he is going to use communicate power. He does not have a focus in that, and he's only rolling 2 dice on it to see if he can get him to somehow begin to resist it. And with that absolute, complete, and total failure, they believe him. Everyone is like, why is he saying this? Okay, why is he dead? What the fuck is going on? And they all kind of relax and come to the side. And they're like, what can we do for you?
Take us to the residency, of course.
It's this way. And he just starts walking off.
Arzu's watching Mara as this happens because I want to see if she's surprised.
Yeah, Demira's been watching her the entire time as well.
Mara's eyes are wide. She is surprised. She is very visibly impressed. And she is also looking at Lyra with a very focused and intense look, but it's not threatening. It's out of respect.
Okay.
So she did not remove her weapon at any point.
No. The moment that happened, she's completely relaxed. The weapon is still hidden under her shawl. And she looks back at the large dead one that Novier is crawling out of.
I was gonna say Arzu's gonna go and like grab the dead guy and just like pull him off to the left so Novia can get up.
Does everybody notice that he's dead?
Oh yeah, no, he is dead. He's not moving. He is dead. The guy rolls off and he's just
I think
eyes are open. The look on his face is surprise, and there's like blood on the front of his clothes.
So
the man is just dead.
There'd be blood on me then, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's just kind of everywhere.
I want to feign panic.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I will absolutely give it to you.
I would love to ask Trevor if I can notice the stab wound on his.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just gonna
okay.
Give me we'll just do an understand on that. It's only a difficulty 1 because there's shattered pieces of this porcelain jar everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there is a bunch of it on this guy's chest and also on Novier's chest.
Could I ask? So Sherrick, is Arzu trying to figure out if Novier did that on purpose or not, or
as
is
far
it
as,
more so?
As far as Arzu knows, this man fell and he dead. He wants to know what's up.
Okay, cool. Okay.
You know, he's not necessarily. He just wants to know what happened because this man fell on you and he's dead. So that's all he's trying to get at. He's not necessarily going any further than that.
So yeah, let's I'm just gonna give it a this is just an average difficulty. You are a noble, you know how to fight. It's your thing. There's a dead man here and an Atreides steward covered in blood. So yeah, just give me an understand. And what drive would you like to use for that?
I was gonna say truth, but
that would work.
That doesn't really feel, because the statement is, "You will know me by my deeds."
I would say that would be a conflicting statement.
Yeah, I want to say duty and no, justice. I'm gonna go justice because my thought process in that is that like an Atreides steward covered in blood day 1 is something that Arzu is gonna have to explain. You know,
okay.
It's someone's gonna ask, and my statement for that is, I must speak for those whose lives I command. So.
Oh yeah, no, take justice without a doubt. So yeah, it's a difficulty 1. Understand justice roll, please.
Okay. So yeah, is 2.
Oh, do you have a focus for understand?
Yeah, danger sense.
Okay. Just give me one success, man.
How's that
Holy
feel for you?
crap! I love this game. I love this game already. This is episode 2, and I love this
I get
game.
to roll.
Okay, so between the automatic successes that Lyra created using this overpowering aspect of the voice, and the successes given by Novier on the surprise you're dead, and now 3 successes over what you needed, your momentum pool for the party is full at 6. So, Arzu,
Yes.
there are pieces of shattered pot all over the place.
Uh-huh.
There's about 3 or 4 of them shoved deeply into this man's chest,
Okay.
penetrating the clothes, a small piece of leather-like undershirt, and they are like the impact that this created when Novier smashed into this guy. Like, they penetrated, like one of them hit a vital organ. It could happen accidentally, but I'm giving it to you because of the amount of successes and danger sense. It could happen accidentally, but the odds are really, really high. These may be intentional, in an intentional stabby moment.
Okay.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
I'm just gonna keep that to myself.
Okay.
I just look at Novia and I go, you good? Do you need help?
I think he gives you a look of like needing to, it's like the equivalent of like needing to breathe out of a paper bag at this point. And I think he's going to need you to like kind of like pick him up a little bit and like walk him and like talk him through this.
Okay.
But now you are suspecting me.
I didn't say anything. I just picked this dude up off of you and I looked over at you and go, you okay? So
and I think
go ahead.
I wanted to like, I don't know what happened. I panicked and I tried to run away. And then I kind of called to Mara and would there be like an honorific for Mara? Like, would I be like calling her like lady?
She introduced
anything?
herself as the head as the head housemaid and just Mara and Seal.
Mara, what do we do? I don't think the man is well.
She looks at you and cocks her head, and there's just this look on her face like, come on. She's like, that man is dead. And then she looks past you at a couple of people who have like kind of come around the corner to see the commotion. And she just kind of nods at them. And you see these 2 people are now coming around with what looks like to be this large, like waxed canvas thing that they start rolling the body over onto. And then she looks directly at you. Take his water. A life for a life. And you do notice that there is there's a container of water tied to the man's belt.
Question for you: is there a sort of like a water like gathering like kit of some sort on him?
Yeah, there's a container of water and what looks like to be some sort of bladder that it looks like they would use to fill up, if they're
So
not
like a
taking your
collection kit?
containers. Yeah, it's definitely a water collection kit.
So Lyra eyes it, looks at Demira, like, because they have a whole like secret like communication with eyes. Basically like eyes it, looks at Demira, and then looks at Novier and like starts to kind of make a spectacle of, are you okay? Let me see. Are you hurt? Like to try to divert attention away from the body and like put it on Novier.
And immediately when that happens, because of their connection and understanding of each other's body language, she's going to use subtle step in order to basically take the water collection kit. While
Oh, yeah,
Novia is being
I'm
distracted. Everyone's
just gonna
distracted.
I'm gonna give that to you because of everything that is going on. And as you Novia, as you go up to the body, the two people that were moving him over actually step aside and allow you at it. Like
So
that. And then
we
Mara is looking at you expectantly, but with not with concern anymore, but with kind of like a little what may be respect.
okay. So I'm just gonna take the bladder, not the water collection kit.
Okay, that's
so
fine.
I just wanted like the whatever he held and
Yeah, and with Lyra doing the thing, and with Arzu, of course, like helping Novier walk by. Demira, it's very simple for you just to go over. You're kind of looking at the body, and then the kit just disappears off this man's belt. And as you walk away, the two people look at Mara, and Mara nods, and they just roll his body onto this fabric and start tying it up, and then carry it away. Just out. All that is left is a shards of a porcelain vessel, splashed water, and blood that is very quickly drying in the heat and just being covered with little dusts of sand. As you are now being escorted by 5 very rough-looking individuals and Mara, an even more direct path is being taken. And you step up to the gates, these large, beautifully carved stone gates of the residency. Mara looks at the 4 of you and then looks at the leader of the water bandits, and she just looks at him and goes, "You are excused." Just like with a kind of a glance to Lyra. And the leader of the water bandits looks at Mara and then looks at Lyra. "Come on, everybody. We have things to do." And they just begin to walk away. But Lyra, that look to you was a look of respect. She goes to the stone doors, and she just opens them, just pushing them open. On the other side, there are two individuals, 2 men, that one of them looks he's young, probably late 30s, but he is very large. He's all like just about the same height and weight as the very large enforcer type water bandit. And as soon as Mara walks in, he smiles. And then next to him is this, smaller, much younger, maybe late teens, who's standing next to him. And he looks up, and the younger one is like, "Oh, sir, Mr. Smara, welcome back. Are these the ones that are coming to do the inspection?" And she just kind of nods, like, "Yes, and thank you for making sure that the gates stayed closed. I trusted you. Have you heard anything from Shutout Mapes?" And then the young kid is just kind of like, no, we haven't. She's still looking for other candidates for housekeepers for when the family arrives. "Okay, very good. Go amongst your duties. I must take them inside. The sun is getting too high for them." And they immediately turn on their heel. The larger one said absolutely nothing. And you begin walking through the main courtyard, and it is beautiful. Because of the walls of the residency, the sand isn't really penetrating. The wind is just up high, and you can see it reflected in the small, slow shimmering of the leaves on these 20 date palms that line this courtyard. Something green growing on Arrakis is strange. And you just kind of look at them as you're walking. Mara just doesn't seem to care. Yeah, go ahead, Arzu.
I was gonna say that is something that definitely catches Arzu's eyes, as like, you know, with farming being kind of their whole thing, is he hasn't seen anything green that was like an actual like living thing in
this
while,
is and you know these are not indigenous.
Yeah, absolutely.
These have been planted here for a reason.
So he kind of does that, like, as they're walking, he keeps his eyes on them for as long as he can, kind of a bit. That's all.
You step up to the doors, and again, they're very, very large doors. But you notice that on one of them is this finished carving of the Atreides falcon. And one of them is unfinished. Maybe the carver is taking a break or sharpening his chisels or some other reason. It is yet to be finished. But it seems that the detailing of this turning over to the official residency for the House Atreides is already beginning. Mara just opens the door and motions you all in. And as soon as you get in there, the whole atmosphere changes. The interior is dark and rich. There are carvings on the walls that are gilded, what looks like some sort of metal, but it's highly polished stone. Some of the what should be these very brutalist kind of architecture are actually these intricately shaped and carved columns. They're all rectangular, but a few of them have no right angles. Like these beautiful, almost column-like columns holding up this large vaulted ceiling. It is completely different from the exterior. This looks not just habitable, but luxurious. Why no one would pick this ruling in Arrakis? Like why you don't understand why the Harkonnen, like why they wouldn't live here. Because the interior is gorgeous. It reminds you a lot of Caladan. Just the care that has been put into this building. As you walk in, as the door closes behind you, Mara turns. When the head housekeeper, Shadat Mapes, is not here, I am the one in charge. If you require any documentation, I will get it for you. I will be making sure that while you are here, the household is being well run, as it is my job. And also, as you have seen, that I am capable with weapons. As the head of the household, it is my right to do any killing that needs to be done, not yours. You bring your concerns to me, and then whomever needs punishing will be punished. And she hands you a small folded piece of paper that's a map of the residency. And there are numerous different rooms, and you walk in and you're in the main entrance, and you're just in front of you is this beautiful grand foyer. Rectangular, nearly 100 feet long, wide. This is more, it seems like it's more of a ballroom than just a foyer. It's beautifully carved. There is this large arcing panel of a sandworm. The face of it huge and toothed. All these small teeth arcing and twisting itself over. And it's just like it's part of the decor. Not that it was placed there, but it was carved there. And Mara nods, smiles to the four of you with respect, and walks away.
Before she gets too far away,
Mm-hmm.
just one thing. I can respect the rule of you wanting to do any killing, but you also got to understand as heir, albeit to a minor house, I have been sent here by the Atreides family. So if I got to defend myself, I got to defend myself, and we can have a discussion about it after, right?
If you feel the need that anyone here is a threat enough, and they threaten you, then yes.
Just want to make sure we're on the same level, because I don't want to step on your toes as much as I would hope you wouldn't want to step on mine. It's just,
In some circumstances, I will understand. All others, I will not.
I'm well aware of the whole waking up in the middle of the night thing with somebody with a dagger to the neck. So that's all I wanted to make clear.
Yes, and I understand that. And I will accept that, as you are not Atreides, and they are not here yet. When they are here, everything may fall to your duke. You can defend yourself, but if someone needs punishment, please come see me. And it's just a deadpan, serious statement.
Understood.
I will go now. And she just walks off. And you do hear some shuffling because the house it's not really lived in. There's nothing in here. You hear shuffling here and there, what sounds like footsteps echoing through these large empty halls, people walking. You hear the occasional voice. Everything is echoing because, one, it's voluminous. There's so much liminal space in here. But it's also, there are still people here, albeit a skeleton crew. There are people that are maintaining the place. So you have a map. You're currently on the ground floor at the main entrance and the grand foyer. What are you all doing? Your job is technically now begun. Your cover story is that you're trying to make sure the house is in tip-top shape. But you're actually here to root out any Harkonnen spies, if there are any.
I think I'm probably the first one to immediately splinter off and go to where Jessica's chambers would be and start kind of organizing in there, cleaning up, seeing if there's been anything left over from previous ownership.
Okay. Arzu, Demira?
I keep an eye on actually no, Arzu kind of motions to Demira in obviously just in a way of like, if you wouldn't mind, and they head off towards the guest bedrooms of this particular space.
And Demira, of course, would follow along because it's first and foremost who she serves is Arzu. So her loyalty lies with him. So she was going to basically make sure that everything was set in his quarters anyway. So she's definitely following suit.
Okay. So yeah, as Lyra splits off following the map, there is a large staircase off the grand foyer. And again, the grand foyer, it's not just built to be magnificent, it's definitely built to be intimidating. Like if you were to have anyone with a good voice at the far end, it would be echoing. So your footsteps from the main entrance into the grand foyer are echoing, just clicking on that hardened, polished sandstone. And the three of you, since you are all going toward the family bedrooms, the main bedroom, and the guest bedrooms, just begin heading up the stair. Lyra, you were the one that turn off first and start heading up. Novier, what are you doing? The three of them just immediately like looked at the map and started heading upstairs.
I look at the map and I try to commit it to memory, and I fold it very nicely in order to place into one of my pockets. And I immediately go to the male dormitories so I can get changed out of this blood and look presentable.
Okay. Yeah, it's very yeah, it's very it's sparse, but it's very well kept. There are very small rooms for each of the for anyone that would be servants or stewards. 4 of them are closed and the rest of them are open. I mean, and there's quite a bit. There's probably 20 to 30 easily that are available, but 4 of the doors are closed. And finding one is simple. There is a small like a small dresser, and it has very simple clothing in it. Nothing with an Atreides crest or anything. But yeah, you can change out, and a nice white undershirt. There's a little bit of like a tan, seems like not really brocade, but a very nice vest. Probably what the two footmen outside were wearing underneath their large shawls in order to prevent them from getting heat stroke.
That's
you also
perfect,
have your own
yeah.
personal luggage, which likely has a couple other uniforms in it, I would assume.
I think for the sake of trying to keep being unnoticed, I think I'm going to change into their outfits.
Okay. That's rad. Okay, I like that. That's kind of awesome. The 3 of you, as you head up the stairs, the moment you hit the upper landing, one of the doors opens. It's not the main bedroom that is directly ahead, but over near the family bedrooms and the guest services. And the door opens and then closes, and just walking onto the landing is this very, very young woman. Does not look like she's from Arrakeen. And just immediately she stops and she's holding some linens. She's like, I'm sorry. Who are you? Just looks scared.
Lyra steps forward. My child, who are you?
My name is Shala. I'm one of the housemaidens here. I didn't know the place isn't ready yet. We weren't expecting any members of the house to arrive.
We're here on assignment. Can you point me
What
to the
assignment?
quarters, to ladies' quarters, please? Oh, don't worry about
Yes,
that.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And she just immediately turns off, like looks at you, and then just motions and immediately goes off. Doesn't give the other 2 of you any sort of recognition. Just like, and like very quick in step, very shocked. Like, who the fuck are these people?
I
And
silently communicate to Demira to check the bedrooms again using body language. Just check the bedroom, and she follows
okay.
along with the young girl.
And there's just a nod from Demira that it will be done.
Okay. The guest bedrooms are, since you would be used to them in the Atreides castle on Caladan, they're opulent, but they're currently barren of any kind of personal decor. the linens have been changed. The beds seem to be comfortable. There is a larger suite available that would be for visiting nobles or wards of a house. And it's very nice in here. The strange change between the exterior and the interior, I really want to stress this. It's like the outside does not exist when you're in this residency. If it wasn't for the decor and the occasional depiction of sandworms or artistic carvings of dunes, of sand dunes, and like this stylized picture of the two moons of Arrakis and the sun, you would think that you were in any other building except for the architecture. The change between the outside and the inside is radically different. There's also no windows. That's the largest difference. Nothing that you can visibly see outside. But the guest bedrooms are lovely. Your suite has a main bedroom, specifically a second bedroom, has a small sitting room and, standard bathroom facilities. It seems very acceptable. It's on par with what you would expect at a residency.
Demira would want to check, obviously, the bedroom area, and as far as just like the bedding and like underneath, and
Okay.
just because of the fact that there was that communication between her and Lyra, which Demira was not stepping forward in that situation, but was paying attention to what the girl was carrying, which was probably going over to the laundry area with linen. But obviously then that, the focus would be to check that area in particular, just in case things were planted.
Okay, so are you doing like a thorough investigation?
Demira would like to. If basically, especially if this is going to be the wing that Arzu is staying in, Demira is going to be with a fine-tooth comb going over every inch of this area.
Got it. While this is going on, Arzu, what are you going to do? Demira appears to be going into her like super investigative mode.
I think Arzu's gonna think about. He's gonna take the time to kind of like really analyze the scene that he just witnessed. The guy getting stabbed. He's gonna think about that. Because I think he's really kind of just trying to put the pieces together as to what could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because he obviously realizes like they wouldn't just send a steward, just any steward. I think at this point, I think he understands that like there's something to why each of them was picked, and he may be a pawn on the board right now, but like he's got his sights set on that other end.
Okay.
To become a better piece, if that makes sense. So he's trying to think about like what he's working with, I guess I'll say, for lack of better terms.
Okay.
So he's kind of doing that, like sitting in the chair, like thinking pose while like life is kind of going around. Like he's obviously like somewhat aware, but he's kind of a little bit lost in thought.
Demira, I'll give you the choice. Either understand or discipline to use while you're looking around. It's going to be a difficulty 3. So It's kind of daunting. This is a brand new place. Architecture is recognizable but different. The beds are radically different. So yeah, but it would be your choice. Looking around, searching for traps, listening devices, like a secret door where somebody's waiting to pop out with a dagger, anything like that. Yeah, it would have to be a difficulty 3. But either
I want to
understand or
ask.
yeah.
I want to ask the group. May I dip in the pool?
Oh, totally. Yes.
Okay. Yes, I want to buy some extra.
As a reminder, you don't have to ask the group. You can just do it.
I just feel bad.
I know you're nice, but
oh wait,
I mean,
no,
no.
I have one. I have one
I know
too.
you're nice, but
I have one individual one too. Correct?
You have your determination point. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, so
yes,
how much momentum would you like to spend? There is 6 in the pool. And you get 1 die for 1, 2 dice for 2. And then or first dice is 1, the second dice is 2, and the third die is 3. So if you want to burn all 6,
I want to do 2.
Okay.
But I also I'm gonna hold my oh no, it's an automatic 1 on a single die.
Yes.
So yes, we're gonna burn that determination on that. So at least there's 1 for sure. And then I'm going to roll those 4 dice.
Okay.
Like the 2 that I naturally get for the roll, but then I bought the extra 2.
Okay, this is a point. You have 1 point of determination. You may be able to earn more, but you only have 1. You don't get 1 at the beginning of every session. You have 1.
Oh, that's true.
So if you want to do that and get an automatic 1, which is a critical success, you absolutely can. But I just wanted to, the warning is out there, and I'm only going to say it once. You only get 1 point of determination per game, unless you somehow earn it back.
You said per game. Ugh.
You can always.
That's not per session, though. So
no.
Okay.
You can always, give me more threat if you want more dice. If you want to keep your determination and keep the momentum pool full, you can just give me more threat. I'll happily give you dice for that.
Okay. No. Okay. We're gonna retro this. So saving the determination, because I misunderstood. I thought it was session, and thank you for the reminder. But I will still buy the 2 die from the pool.
Cool.
So then that way I'm rolling the 4.
Yep. So you're burning 3 momentum. There's 3 momentum left in the pool.
Yes.
What skill are you going to be using? Understand or discipline?
I'm going to use discipline.
Okay. And what drive?
For this, I'm going to use duty, because I feel like this is a situation that makes sense. And she does have a focus in discipline, which is espionage.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Well, absolutely. So yeah, you're buying 2 dice, you're rolling 2, and you're using a focus. So yeah, let's go. 4d20 in the 2d20 game. Love it. Just absolutely love it. This is a big roll, and it's difficulty 3. Oh my. So you have a critical success on 1 die. So technically, that 1 is a 2. So that's 8 successes. 8. You needed 3.
It's never going to be this good ever again.
No, it won't.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Wait, knocking on wood, y'all. Knocking on wood. Oh my goodness.
So
Ooh,
replenishing the pool. Remember, the momentum pool doesn't go above 6.
We're fine.
So the 3 you spent, here you go. It's back in, and
Thank you, and your change, sir.
yeah, because literally it's like, okay, you needed 3, those go. Oh, by the way, 3 more can go into the pool, and you're still hanging on to a couple.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. So,
Fine-tooth comb. Fine-tooth comb.
oh,
I
this is
said it.
beyond a fine-tooth comb. You are using your hyper awareness. You are controlling your heart rate in order to reflexively make it higher and lower and push your adrenaline up or down, dilating your eyes, forcing your brain to fire as you are looking at each possible place between your hyper awareness and your prana bindu conditioning. Takes you about an hour. But this is a very, very thorough search. And you do find a small depression where something may have been, but it has since been removed. Like a little bit of scraping on the walls. The bed, it looks like it's suspended, but it is secured to the floor and unmovable on a large slab of stone. And there's no ridge underneath. You even ask Arzu to politely and you check the chair he's sitting in. The room, while still a little dusty, is pristine in construction, and there is not any kind of trap, listening device, secret passageway, absolutely nothing. This is a secure room or a secure suite with one entrance and one entrance only. That main door to go in and go to other rooms of the suite. The rooms, I mean, the doors themselves, all of the locks work expertly. This is an incredibly secure room, and it is safe. Lyra. Shala has taken you into the main bedroom. The main bedroom is opulent. It is glorious. There is a very large bed in this, kind of pushed off to one side in its own alcove. Sitting chairs, small drift globes that float above, these small levitating mechanical lights, just adding this very, very beautiful golden light everywhere. Tables, desk, just, you would expect there to be an office, but you know there is a separate office down the hall. This reminds you very much, the scale of it reminds you very much of the royal quarters on Caladan. Just the design alone would be up to standard. And Shala is standing there, her head is down. She's still clutching those linens to her chest. She's like, "Ma'am, this is the royal bedroom for the incoming family. Their son has another bedroom around the corner near the guest bedrooms, but this is where your mistress and the Duke will be staying." And she just
Why
like
do you lower
head
your head?
down. Out of respect, ma'am. Out of respect.
Respect for my station?
You are a handmaiden to the lady of the house that is coming. You are due respect. I'm just a housemaid. You are a handmaiden.
My name is Lyra.
Thank you, miss. I am Shala.
Shala, you and I are going to become great friends.
And you see, as her head's down, there is a smile. She's just kind of like, she's around 25, but there is that nice smile. And she says, "I hope so. I hope so. Is there anything I can get you?"
Actually, there's some things maybe you can tell me. Who is left in charge here? Who do you serve?
The head of the housekeeper is Shadout Mapes, and then when she's not around a lot, she's very busy looking for other housemaids and housekeepers for when the Atreides arrive.
Mm-hmm.
Atreides, when the Atreides arrive. So Mara Nasil is in charge. She is the head housekeeper when Shadout Mapes is off property.
What do you think of Mara?
Mara is great. She is stern, but she's very skilled, but she is also very busy with her responsibilities.
I see. And she's from here, correct?
Yes, I believe she was born in Arrakeen.
So would that make her, my apologies for not knowing the proper phrase, Fromen?
Fremen are the deep desert people. They
Fremen,
are they live in the very deep desert. It's very, if they come into Arrakeen, it is just to gather supplies, and it is very, very rare.
Do you know of any?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. And what do you make of the former family that was here? Did you like them?
Count Fenring was harsh, but he was fair. He is friends with the emperor, and he was fair. His daughter was also fair.
His daughter.
They only lived here a very short time.
What was her name?
Trevor just completely forgot. Very important person too. Shit. Give me one.
Insert daughter's name. We'll get back to it.
Yeah, we will get back to it. Insert name here.
Yes. I see. So, anybody I should keep an eye on here?
Do you feel there would be a problem?
I mean,
Marie. It's Marie Fenring.
There we go. Don't you see that one family has departed and another coming here to take over? Should they not be fearful of this transition?
Aren't these just the way of the houses?
I haven't seen stuff like this in a long time.
Oh. That would be more of an answer for you. I'm sorry. I'm young. I came here with my parents. They wanted to be spice miners and they died. And I was taken in when the Fenring family was here, and I serve the household. I'm still getting used to everything.
Would you still want to serve the household, or would you want to serve a higher calling?
I would like to serve the household very much. They say that this new family is nice and just and rules from the heart.
They are. They are nice. They definitely rule from the heart. But what if I told you that there was something worth living for outside of these families, that you can make your own life?
I don't understand.
Lyra just kind of gathers her and walks down the hallway and starts to kind of talk to her a little bit about the sisterhood.
Oh wow. Just like the general aspect of the Bene Gesserits?
Yep.
Oh neat. She actually pays a lot of attention to what you're saying.
Figured seemed to probably just fade into that.
That's rad. That's rad. Novier, you have changed into the general garb of what the current non-Atreides folks are, and as you are, when you come out, you hear one of the other doors close, and you look down the road, and there's this, again, Arrakeen, from the Arrakeen populace, the tan skin, very, very attractive, like very becoming, well dressed. Hair is in this slicked back, but just messy enough. And he looks at you, and he's like, "You're new here. I don't know who you are. I'm Shakir."
I think he Nove takes his hand and shakes it, but doesn't make eye contact.
Okay.
And it's more sheepish than anything else. And he says, "Shakir, it is nice to meet you. I am Novie. I'm coming here on behalf of House Atreides to check on the steward staff."
Oh, we didn't know they were coming for at least, what, a week?
Oh,
Oh.
It'd be prudent to have at least a few people show up first so we can make sure all the arrangements are set.
Yes, I can see that. Well, I'm very familiar with everyone here, so I can take you around. I can show you. You found your quarters, and that's a very nice outfit.
Oh, thank you. May I? Okay. May I ask what you do here? And I am going to be doing something right now.
Hell.
So, the third part of the Assassin's Handbook uh, gives you the best strategies to act in any situation.
Yes, it does.
I am going to want to use my espionage skills in order to make it seem like I have a crush on Shakir. So Shakir thinks that I am into him, but and which then lowers his guard with me.
Um.
So
yeah,
I'm like, very much like the touching of his arm when I ask what he does here, having him lead me through the halls, things like that.
I would say that's. I would give that a I will make. I'm gonna give it a difficulty 3 because you are new. This is
Okay.
a daunting task.
Okay.
You're an unknown aspect, but I say that's more of a communicate skill.
Okay.
Because communication is learning and talking and persuading and performing.
Okay. Then the so communicate is actually better for me. And then my focus there is persuasion.
Oh shit. Okay. Cool. What drive would you like to use?
I would like to use. Okay. I'm trying to I'm trying to communicate this in ways that are outside of the spoken word. So I'm wondering if I could use faith, because my phrase there, my statement there is problems are only solved in the quiet.
Oh, that's rude. um I'll give it to you, and I'll say that that's not a conflicting statement.
Okay.
Because you are specifically using your training as part of the assassins.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
2 dice then, correct?
Yeah, difficulty of 3, so you need 3 successes. And the momentum pool is currently full.
Okay. If I use a momentum.
If you use 1 momentum, you get 1 die. If you use, and then the next die costs 2, and the third die costs 3. So to buy 2.
I'd like to use a momentum. I'd like to use momentum in this.
Okay, so you're rolling 3 dice.
Yes.
And your momentum, the party momentum pool is now at 5.
All right. And I'm gonna hit. Oh, is this like a FIFO sort of thing? Like we use the first momentum that's gonna expire, or
yes, Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
Rolling it.
I run 2d20. It's like, it's that, oh, the camera is always overrunning the first
Yes.
5 minutes. Yeah.
I got an 8, a 2, and a 9. So
That's 4 successes.
I'm pretty sure that's 4 successes.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Wow, you just crushed that one. He is immediately receptive to the point where, as he's showing you around, like he shows you his room, and it's very well decorated, and it's got, a selection of candles, has its own very small drift globe.
As we're talking, does he tell me what he does for the house?
Yes, he is one of the footmen. So they're basically having heavy lifting, building, repair, running a general ship, running the general stuff. He's not a steward. The stewards would be assigning him roles.
Okay.
And while he's not combat trained, they are absolutely supposed to be bodyguards to any other footmen, stewards, or porters from visiting families or the royal family.
Am I getting a little bit of like an alpha male kind of into himself vibe?
Oh, he is arrogant, selfish, and a brutal narcissist. He thinks he is the hottest shit on Arrakis, and that's a hot place.
While we are talking, then, since he's very receptive, I think I'm gonna play this very shyly and very coyly, right? Like, it's very it's like borderline flirting, but you don't know, but you kind of know, So I'm keeping it up in the air, which I think drives him a little bit crazy because of his personality.
It does, but it's kind of like, yeah, the vibe he is giving off. Jesus, Trevor. The vibe he is giving off, and there's a definite, like, he is a cat that's about to play with a toy.
Okay. That's exactly where I wanted him.
Yeah. Oh no, he is. It's like, and the thing is, he is allowing you to, like, place your hand on his arm, and then he kind of just leans in a little, but then pulls away. Definitely playing the coy game and just waiting for the hook to set. He's on it. Bait set.
Perfect.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put that in my back pocket for later.
Got it.
Yeah,
Absolutely got it.
So like no other things. It's a polite conversation. It's a little flirty.
Oh yeah.
But definitely leaving him wanting more.
Oh, absolutely. And he is. Yeah, he's there. He's in on it.
Perfect.
Arzu. Demira has cleared the room. You're sitting in your thoughts of that fight. You're sitting in the thoughts of Mara producing that knife from nowhere. Her words to you that she is the one that is responsible for the killing of anyone within this household. And you've been sitting in those thoughts as Demira is checking the room, and Lyra is likely off making sure that Lady Jessica and Duke Ledo's rooms are going to be fine, and Novier is off somewhere stewarding. Where's your head?
I think he's ready to talk to Demira.
Okay.
I've checked everything, sir.
Oh, I believe you have. So how about that stunt you pulled with Mara?
My apologies. I knew she was more than what she seemed.
Let me stop you right there. You I know better than to ask for an apology from you and or require one from you. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page about things because
I didn't mean to overstep it. I needed her to reveal her true self.
no, I understand it. It's just I believe you're capable, but we've never been here before. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong and if you've been here before. I know you're dangerous, but so is this planet. And I have no intentions on losing you, especially this early on in machinations. So,
You can't get rid of me that easily. Unfortunately for you.
unfortunately. uh, well, what do you think of that Novier steward? And he stands up.
I think we have similarities, him and I.
Hmm.
But that also means that he's one to look out for potentially. I haven't figured him out yet. Have you discovered something?
If we were to take this to court, this would be hearsay and conjecture, but
Luckily, we're nowhere near a court, so
for now. Mighty lucky that vase broke in such a way that it hit a vital organ.
Hmm.
Mighty lucky.
luck, an interesting word to use.
Like I said, hearsay and conjecture at this point. But obviously he's here for a reason. And I think he knows that. And I think he's smart enough to understand that by virtue of him being on this excursion of exploration, that something's up. I mean, if the Mentat was all that worried about keeping the stewards in line, I think he would have sent someone a bit higher up the chain unless he knew something. But that's just, like I said, hearsay and conjecture. So here's what I'm thinking. Lyra, Novier, they may have their own reasons for being here, but my hope is by the end of this, they can kind of come around to my reason for being here. Now, you
I'll do
know
everything.
me.
I said I would do everything in my power to make sure that that happens.
Well, I want you to stop a little short of that because you know me. A no is a no. But
I didn't say I would force them.
oh, of course. I just want to make sure I'm clear because we can't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. But I think if Lyra and Novier can understand why I think House Reese is better, why I think House Reese would be more suited, perhaps they come around to my line of thinking.
I don't think you have anything to worry about when it comes to Lyra.
Oh, you know me. you know me. And he reaches into his pocket and like on the ship, he kind of just like puts his hand up and Demira would know that he is chewing on clipper seeds. You know me, and besides, she's got the voice.
Yes, but it's all about how you use that voice. Who she uses it to help, assist.
Who indeed?
On that note, as Novier is flirting with Shakir, Lyra is advertising and possibly trying to indoctrinate a young Shala into the Bene Gesserit sisterhood. And Demira and Arzu Reese of House Reese are discussing possible coup, or at least a rising in the standing of House Reese. We'll leave that there as the sun gets eclipsed by the larger moon of Arrakis and night comes. And the end of the first day of the 5 until House Atreides arrives is done. So please join us next week for episode 3, when we will find out if there's anything hiding in these walls that may talk or may listen. Thank you once again for coming to Modiphius and watching this adventure of Dune, Adventures in the Imperium, Desertfall. And as a reminder, we do have a 30% off sale going for Dune. Just hit Modiphius.com. Make sure to follow all of us on social media, so different things that we're doing. And we also have that that giveaway for the Roll20 plugin for Dune for the Adventures in the Imperium. But while that is being figured out, let's just real quickly go around the horn here. And Demira, where can we find you, and who are you exactly?
Hello, everyone. I'm Utahime, Utahime. You can find me at Utahime Cosplay pretty much everywhere except on the app formerly known as Twitter. You can find me at Brianna DeCosta there, up to lots of tabletop shenanigans and Magic the Gathering and other fun stuff. So if you want to check out anything that I'm up to, you can find me there at those places.
Fantastic. Playing the other sister Bene Gesserit, Lyra.
Hey everyone, I'm Cynthia Marie. Had a fabulous time playing. You guys can probably just find me on the socials under Dancer, except for Instagram or anything tied to Instagram. It's Cynthia__Marie. As always, it's a pleasure to play with all of you guys. And just as a reminder,
Sleep well.
Oh man. Oh, that was so creepy. Someone else who I think was totally creeped out by that, playing Novier, the house steward of Atreides. Wow. Following that.
Oh, geez, I gotta follow that then. Hi, everyone. I'm JPG. I played Novier for this campaign, or I'm playing Novier for this campaign. I'm a pop culture educator and consultant. You can find all of my work and all that stuff at Speaker JPG on all social media.
Right on. And last and certainly not least, the what seems to be scheming Arzu Reese of House Reese.
Hello, I am your favorite burb on the interweb. You can call me A Black Sparrow. I am on all the socials at A Black Sparrow, including A Black Sparrow or ShirkRobinson.com. They both go to the same place. You can find my scheming there, I suppose.
And I'm your humble game master, Trevor Valle. You can find me at Tattoos and Bones on pretty much anywhere, or tattoosandbones.com. Also, congratulations to Mon Kern, who won that Roll20 code. And yes, please join us next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central for episode 3 of Desertfall. Good night, everybody.